Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing my May wrap up. Before I jump into the books that I read for this month, I'm going to quickly go over my Sips by box. The first tea that I have here is Mint Green Tea by the Tea Heaven. Have not heard of this company, but I do like mint tea, I like green tea, so this should be pretty good, and it's a loose leaf, so I enjoyed that. The next tea is Earl Grey by Choice Organics. I do love Earl Grey, but I haven't heard of this company. Actually, I don't think I've heard of any of the companies that I'll show today, but I'm excited to try it, and this is a high caffeine, so we know that I'm gonna enjoy that. The next tea is Masala Chai by Tea India. Also high caffeine, and I do enjoy chai tea, so hopefully this is one of the good ones. And the last tea that I have is Venetian Rose Peach Bellini by Tea Fiori. So this one sounds really good. It's also loose leaf and the packaging is really pretty. So hopefully this one's good too. The first book that I finished in the month of May was Burning God by R.F. Kuang. This is the conclusion to the Poppy War trilogy and it was so good. This was really good. I rated it 4.75 stars. It made me cry. I loved and hated the ending. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but everyone seems to have like a love-hate relationship with R.F. Kuang. Like if I ever met her, would I hug her or punch her in the face? I don't really know. It just depends on the day. But this was really good. If you are a fan of adult fantasy and war and morally great characters and found family, then I highly recommend that you pick up this book. Although there are a lot of content warnings, as I've said in all of my reviews. I do have a full review of this as well as the Dragon Republic and the Poppy War on my channel, so if you're interested in more of my full thoughts, I will link those in the cards and the description below. But I'm so glad that I read this trilogy and I cannot wait to read her next book. The next book that I read was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. This was my first time reading any of her work, my first time reading Throne of Glass. Surprise, surprise, I didn't like it. I think I gave it 2.5 or 2.75 stars. If you saw my previous video, then you know that I am unhauling that series. It just isn't for me. It might have been one of those things that I enjoyed when I was younger, although there were some issues that I still would have had then too. So would I have completed the series if I read it when I was younger? Honestly, it's hard to say, but probably not. The next book that I read was A Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole. This is the second book in the Reluctant Royal series that follows Portia Hobbs, who is the best friend of the main character in the first book, Apprentice in Theory. I do have a full review of this on my page as well if you're interested, so I will link that in the cards in the description below. But I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I really enjoyed the romance. I enjoyed Portia as a character, even though I hated her in A Princess in Theory. So I am very excited to continue with the series. I've purchased the 2 novellas and the 3rd book, and I will probably be finishing that in the next few months. If you're a romance reader, I definitely recommend this. It's also an age gap romance. This is the first time I've ever enjoyed an age gap romance, so that's a pretty big deal. The next book that I read was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Robin and Dashiell wanted me to read this because they wanted to know what I would think about it, and honestly, I just didn't really care. Like, the magic is kind of cool, but I didn't really care about any of the characters. Like, I feel for Alex and everything that she's been through and everything that she's going through. But other than that, I don't really care. I didn't care about Darlington. My favorite character was probably Dawes, and she's not really a part of it until maybe the last third of the book. So yeah, it just wasn't for me, and I do not think that I'll be continuing that series. I rated it 3 stars. The last book that I read in May was The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy. This one I rated 3 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as the 5th season. I think a part of that, as I've said a few times already, is because I didn't really care about the characters. I am not attached to any of them, and the one character that I was really waiting to see in the first book, we finally get her point of view, and I was just like, okay, nope, not what I expected, not what I wanted, don't care. Yeah, I literally don't like any of the characters in the series except for Hoa. I will be reading The Stone Sky in June, so we'll see how everything wraps up. I am intrigued, I will say that. I am very interested to see what happens next and how it all wraps up. But I don't think that this was the best N.K. Jemisin series for me, so I will definitely be looking into her other work. Those are all the books that I read in May. Let me know if you've read any of these or if any are on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.